a lot about is the target of comedy. So when I was younger, I used to look into like the anatomy of a joke, and there's always that contradiction that happens in the joke, right? Like it's almost in judo we used to call it kazushi. So if I want to throw you, one of the ways that I throw is that I will get you off of your balance. So there's like 3 steps to the throw, right? There's the beginning, the middle, and the end. And the beginning is always called the kazushi, like get you off of your balance. And then the execution, the middle one, is I take advantage of that disbalance, and I feel like a joke. And then the 3rd step is to actually finish the throw, like the conclusion. In a joke, what I remember reading about when I was younger was the idea that you're basically doing the same thing to the audience, right? Like you're setting them up, and then you're like you contradict, yeah, right? Mm-hmm. And there's usually a target of that. Like when I used to think about, like, there's usually a target at which you are aiming that contradiction. And in that way, humor can be a kind of a social rebuke, right? Like you can use humor to really like sting. And one of the questions that I've always had is, if we think about the tension in classes, so much of the tension has to do with power hierarchies. It has to do with the fact that the people that are holding the keys to the kingdom are not sharing their power responsibility equally, right? And so there's a lot of like, and so, you know, as you were speaking, that one of the reasons that I think that was so funny is because you were like that's a power hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm with you on that. And I think the thing that I always find really challenging is how do I write content that, because you're like setting up a story with the intent of causing mental friction that gets released as laughter, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess I'll leave that as an open question. I love the creativity, the exercise in creativity here. I think it's a great idea.